How are you?
Very well.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Excellency. How are you?
Very fine.
I think
Thank you.
Hi, how are you? Good. How are you?
Passing through here is a special envoy. Then I was in times before. Every time I went through Nairobi, and in fact before that to Seychelles. Then eventually, when I went on for about 2 weeks. So I have been here. I see a lot of traffic. We're also talking to people about something which, in many ways. Thank you, Kenya, for receiving the United Nations here. I see many things happening. On the side of Kenya, the efforts are tremendous. On the side of the United Nations, the efforts are tremendous. And there's something invisible which I find great here. The attitude is the proper attitude on both sides. The efforts are great, attitude proper. In the future, I can only see great things and miracles. Thank you very much for coming together to produce what will make Kenya great and make the UN offices here great. Thank you very much, sir.
Short presentation for the benefit of UN General Assembly. 10 years later, Your Excellency, we were really honored to be based in Nairobi, although, of course, in 1997, the United Nations Center for Human Settlements Habitat was established, known as UNON. These emanated like diplomatic privileges and immunities as contained in Kenya. Is committed and that the diplomats and your employees by dedicating $1 billion US dollars. It does day-to-day administration of diplomatic privileges, and there are 3 categories. We have a statute like in Africa. This comes in the form of, to this moment, processed well over 130,000 privileges.
On behalf of the government of Kenya, to say that we are indeed honored to have you with us here and to give us an opportunity to be able to appraise you, update you on the issues and our partnership with the United Nations. And I want to underscore one thing. One, we are working very, very closely together. And we are proud of Madam Bangura. She has been very, very proactive. She does not hesitate when there are any issues that are lagging behind. She does not mince her words, very blunt, but very diplomatic. So we like her for that. The other thing that I would just want to say is that we really look forward to your support at your level because we are committed to making this a very, very critical hub for the United Nations. And the previous speakers have really elaborated on this. Over and above that, as we look at the issues of privileges and immunities, Your Excellency, we also want to propel Kenya to become the preferred UN retirement home. Because we have a lot of top diplomats, 3,000. And we want to be able to make sure that they can find Nairobi their preferred home, or even Mombasa. They can settle anywhere in Kenya. And through collaboration, we should be able to provide the environment, the legal framework that can help this to materialize. So these are some of the issues that we bring to fore. And we look forward to working together. Apart from that, Nairobi is essentially the financial hub in the region. We have a footprint of about 552 banks, branches, Kenyan banks with branches in the entire region. So we provide a very good focal point. Our financial system is completely liberal. We are the hub in this region for the media, I can only say that all these interests, and we are seeing, apart from the UN entities that want to come to Kenya, we are now receiving a fairly rapid line of requests from other international agencies, including non-governmental bodies, that want to relocate and have their centers come to Nairobi. So working together and with your support, I think we can achieve a lot.
And the Nairobi duty station is the fastest growing duty station in the UN. It's the only duty station growing. Today, as I speak to you, we have 86 UN offices in Kenya, 73 in the Gigiri. When the UNEP was set up, it was 300 staff. Today, it's 6,500, 11,000 families and dependents. So the floating one, people who come for meetings, about 3,000. So as the Director General who is responsible for safety and security of staff, my total people I'm responsible for is 20,000 in Kenya today. And we have 2 global offices, UNEP and UN Habitat. By the middle of next year, we're going to have 3 additional global offices: UNICEF, UNFPA, UN Women. Their headquarters will be in New York, but the bulk of their offices staff will be here. So there will be their global operation. Part of their global operation is going to be shifted in Kenya. So their headquarters will be there, skeleton staff, but the bulk of their staff will be there doing the global operation. And by then, we're expecting 800 to 1,000 staff in addition. And I think I have to thank the President of the General Assembly, and through him, the Secretary General. By 2030, the UN General Assembly will be investing $340 million in upgrading the infrastructure. And one of the investments is building an assembly hall. It is the first assembly hall the UN General Assembly Secretariat is building since 1949. What is the implication of that? If that project is concluding, if called upon and required, Kenya can host the General Assembly because you have the infrastructure. You have an assembly hall. We're going to have 9,000 seating capacity, which is at par with New York and Geneva. We're going to have 30 conference meeting rooms. Right now we have 13. Right now seating capacity 2,000. But they are bringing it at the level. That's the decision the General Assembly took, to bring Nairobi at the same level with Geneva and New York. And Kenya is also, he said about that, because we live in an area that we have a lot of challenges. Kenya is the evacuation center for 9 countries in the neighborhood. When there's crisis there, these countries is mandated they bring their stuff here. Central African Republic, Ethiopia, Somalia, Uganda, South Sudan, Burundi, Sudan, Tanzania, and Yemen. And I give an example. When the crisis broke in Sudan, I called the peers. We sent a note verbal that they are receiving them. I called the peers like 6 in the morning. He knows, we talk, either midnight or what. He contacted the president gave the approval. We flew in the people from Sudan. The government put a tent at the airport, received those people, and they were stationed here. So today, as we speak, if you take WFP, we have WFP regional office, we have WFP Somalia, we have WFP Sudan, we have WFP Kenya. So these other countries, there's a crisis today in Tanzania, this is where they bring them. There's a crisis in Uganda, this is where they come. And like he said, Kenya is the medical hub. We sign agreements with the big medical hospital, Aga Khan, Nairobi hospital, big them, to be providing medical support to the UN in the environment. The numbers we pitch is 250,000, because it's the UN staff in all these countries, their families, the peacekeepers, our partners. So when we plan for medical evacuation for 250,000 people who should have the ability to actually come to Kenya. And this includes, of course, UN staff. So the Kenya duties, Nairobi, UN in Nairobi is a very unique and complex. So we're working with the government because, like I said, it was 300 staff, now it's 6,500. So the structure that the government of Kenya, that is what we're going through, that's why he was telling about the liaison committee that was set up, when UNEP was set up, those definitely cannot fit. Because the UN is such a big elephant here, it means that we have to work. And now we even realize that with all the expansion, we might not have enough office space. We have office space for everybody that is coming, but which means now we're doing a long time. When we do the presentation to you tomorrow, we'll tell you on where are we moving. 5-10 years is going to grow tremendously. That's the UN. So we're working with the government to look at it. How do you plan for, nobody in their wildest imagination ever thought this is what's going to happen. But that's what is going to happen. And we also talk, because internally we also will need the General Assembly to provide the necessary support for us, because the company is expanding. So I want to just say, I thank the college, work very well with the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And I just want to give an example, the PS Water. When we're building the building, which you are going to see tomorrow, the offices, we found out the water pipe for the brewery actually went through our compound, the big pipe. So we had to stop the construction, which is why the building my office had to delay, because he had to give instruction to block the water in Gigiri. Because we needed to remove the pipe, put it back in another place, and build it. But I called him, we spoke very late at night. The next day he reacted. So as far as DG I'm concerned, as the Director General, I can say that they are reacting. The elephant is so growing that we themselves are struggling to follow. That's what is up, which is good in a way. So that's the challenge, and that's why we're working with them to see what additional structures we can put in place to be permanent to support us, because it's growing. We're the fastest growing, we're the only duty station that is growing, and I'm sure we have UNEP, UNICEF 200, UNEP 130, UN Women. I think more are going to come. So which means we have a lot of work to do to make sure all those teething problems, the bottleneck, we can solve them. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you. Thank you so much.